Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So the Honor 9X and the 9X Pro got announced in China, and in this video I will go through the technical specifications of both phones and I will also point out the differences. So starting off with the physical aspects, both phones are gonna have curved glass backs, which according to their website is called the 3D Phantom glass body design, while as for the frame it might not be aluminium but plastic, same as the P30 Lite, which is also costing the same in China. But unlike the P30 Lite, both phones, the 9X and the 9X Pro, will have X-shaped gradient patterns on their back, and both patterns are not the same, they're different. The screen will be 6.6 inches diagonally on both phones, with 19 by half by 9 in aspect ratio and with no notches and punch holes. So as for their overall size, there is no difference, the dimensions are exactly the same of both. So how large these phones are? They are pretty large, being even larger than the Huawei's P30 Pro or Samsung's Note 9, and just like that they're slightly heavier as well, being over 200 grams, which is considered heavy. And as for the bezels on both, they will be the same, both will have chins and the top bezel will be slightly more wider than the side bezels. As for security, the fingerprint scanner will be on the right side on both, and I couldn't find any mention of the face unlock on their website. And yes, looks like these phones will not have the face unlock feature, and the reason for that could be the slightly slow front pop-up camera. There will be USB Type-C port on both phones for connectivity, and the loudspeaker and the headphone jack will be on the bottom side on both as well. And at last, these phones does not have any IP certification, means both will not be water resistant. Now these screens will be pretty standard Huawei Honor screens. Both will be IPS LCDs with resolution of Full HD, so great screen sharpness. They will not support always on display because these are not AMOLED, and as for their protection, both will be protected by tempered glass. Now as for the performance, and both are coming with the new Hisilicon Kirin 810, and compared to the previous Kirin 710, how fast is the 810? Very fast. On paper, this new 810 will be the direct competitor of not the Snapdragon 675, not even of the Snapdragon 710, but of the Snapdragon 730, which is the fastest mid-range chip by Qualcomm. According to Huawei, the GPU on the Kirin 810 is significantly faster than the GPU on the Snapdragon 730. We will find this out when the phone will actually come out. While the Kirin 810 is using 7nm architecture compared to the 8nm on the 730, means it will eat less battery. Now back to the Honor 9X, this is where we're gonna have the first difference between these phones. The standard 9X is coming with 4 or 6 GB of RAM variants and 64 and 128 GB of storage variants, versus the 9X Pro is gonna have 8 GB of RAM and either 128 or 256 GB of storage. And in this case, the more RAM you have, the better it will be for you, while both phones are gonna have the micro SD card option. As for the OS, it will be Android 9 Pie on both with EMUI, and as that Google cutting ties with Huawei nightmare is over, there should not be any problem with future updates. On the rear side, the main camera sensor will be 48 megapixels quad-based sensor on both, so it will output images in 12 megapixels, just like the P30 Lite. So images from the 9X should be really good considering its price, means good detail, low noise and high dynamic range in 12 megapixels. Thanks to the large sensor, the low light results should also not disappoint, and there's also going to be a long exposure night mode on these phones, which significantly improves the night shots. And here comes the second big difference between these phones, and that's gonna be the wide angle sensor. The 9X Pro will have a 8 megapixels wide angle sensor, while the standard 9X won't. So the maximum field of view will be 117 degrees on the 9X versus 80 degrees on the standard version, while both phones will have a depth sensor for good portraits. As for video recording specs, these are not specified by Huawei, but it should be in 4K at 30 FPS. And for stabilization, only software will be there, no optical stabilization on both. Both phones will have the slow motion feature and the super slow motion feature, and the super slow motion should be at least in 720p resolution this time, which on the Kirin 710 was only possible in 480p, so more detail this time. The front pop-up camera will be 16 megapixels on both phones, so same resolution as the last Honor 8X. At last for the battery, so it will be 4000 mAh on the Honor 9X versus also 4000 mAh on the 9X Pro. So exactly same screen on time, which will be above good, while the most power hungry component on these phones will be the screens. And as for the CPU, it's built on 7nm architecture, means it will be very power efficient. And as for the fast charging, it could be very different depending upon where you live. While in China, the charger will only have 10 watts of maximum output, which means it's gonna be very slow and could take more than 2.5 hours to fully charge. So this is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about both handsets, and if you found this video interesting, then be sure to like it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.